Hi, everybody. So now I'm going to tell you the story of Passover, which is really interesting. It's based off of the story of Exodus in the Bible when the Jews who were slaves left Egypt. So I'm going to tell you that whole story, though, because it's important. It's part of what we do on Passover and how we celebrate Passover. So, a few thousand years ago, Jewish people were enslaved by the Egyptians to help them build their pyramids and their buildings and stuff like that. Um, and they were very unhappy. It was not a good time. Um, and one day, the Pharaoh, whose name was Ramses, put out an order to kill all the firstborn sons of Jews, because he was just a very cruel man. And a lady named Jochebed, um, she just had a baby son named Moses and did not want to kill him. So what she did was she took Moses, put him in a basket, and had her daughter Miriam float Moses down the Nile. And Jochebed said, um, "May God lead his path to something good," basically. And what actually happened was Moses' basket, little baby Moses in the basket, ended up at the Pharaoh's palace. Wow, isn't that kind of wild? And the Pharaoh's wife could not have children, so she found this baby in a basket and took it and raised it as her own. So for 18 years, Moses thought he was an Egyptian, and he grew up as an Egyptian in the royal family. Um, but one day, somebody told Moses he was Jewish, okay? And he went to investigate it, and he found out it was true. And in his rage, in Moses' rage, he killed an overseer. Now, an overseer is a person who would whip and beat the Jews who were slaves. He killed that guy. And as his punishment, the Pharaoh sent Moses away and sent him walking through the desert. Okay? And the idea was that Moses was supposed to die in the desert, but he didn't. He survived and he became a shepherd. But that's not the end of the story. He became a shepherd. He had a wife, children, sheep. But one day he found a bush that was burning. You know what we call that? The burning bush. And guess what happened there? God talked to Moses through the burning bush, and he said, "You go back to Egypt and you free the other Jews. You can't just hang out here and be a shepherd and have fun. You need to go back and do good." So Moses went back to Egypt. He said to the Pharaoh, he said, "Let my people go." And then the Pharaoh was like, "No way, bro." So Moses said, "Well, you're going to get some bad things are going to happen to you." So you know what happened? The 10 plagues happened. God brought 10 different plagues upon the Egyptian country. And I'll tell you what they are. I wrote them down for you. One, the water in the Nile River turned to blood. And you can't drink blood. We're not vampires. Two, frogs started popping up everywhere. Nobody likes frogs. Three, everybody's hair had lice in it. Ew. Four, gnats were everywhere, and gnats make you all itchy. Ew. Five, you had sick livestock, so you couldn't have your meat or your milk. That's bad. Six, everybody started getting skin boils, which is really disgusting. Seven, hail fell from the skies, and you know how strong hail is. Eight, locusts came and started eating all the crops. Wow. Nine, there was darkness for 3 days, so no sunlight in Egypt. And the 10th one was the worst one. That was called the death of the firstborn. And so all the Egyptian firstborn sons were going to die. And that was sort of a revenge for the Pharaoh doing that before, if you remember. But you want to know why we call it Passover, right? We call it Passover because the Jewish families put lamb's blood over their doors so the angel of death would pass over them. And so the Pharaoh was like, "I can't deal with this anymore. You know what? It's too much. I'm letting you guys go. You're done. You're good. Get out of here." So the Jews left Egypt in a hurry, right? And when the Jews were leaving, the Jewish women, the wives, they had dough to bake bread, but they didn't have time to bake it because they had to leave right away. And so they had this dough on their backs, these Jewish wives, and in the hot Egyptian sun, it baked, but it couldn't rise. And that's why we have matzah today. And that's also why we have the rule that you can't eat bread on Passover because of that rule. So basically, after that, the Jews left Egypt, eventually got to Israel, and we go on from there. But that's the story of Passover. Thank you.